Hi everyone, Salesforce Development Day 19. Let's see what are we going to learn today. We'll go through the previous session overview and we'll talk about the map methods and what is the differences between the list, set and map. We'll see one of the use case and we'll have a Apex code flow logic, how the flow will be executed at the back end of the Apex and what is the conditional statement, what is if condition and simple if condition, if else condition, and we'll see the requirement about each one of them, and then we'll see the assignments, and then we'll have a else if condition, nested if condition, and the trial headings. That's all. So what did we learn in last class? What did we learn on last class? List. What is list? We have discussed, and list methods. Set, we have discussed what is that. Set methods, and also we have discussed about map methods and nested list, nested set. Now continuation of the map, we will see few more methods today. There are methods. Yesterday we have discussed about methods, right? So let's talk about those methods. Now map key set. Now yesterday we have seen key set is just getting the information of the keys, like if you wanted to know only the keys from the value. Similarly, values is nothing but in order to get the values of it, size is in case if you wanted to get how much size it is, how much size of the map, how many records are there. Now yesterday we have seen, let me go ahead, let me connect to the developer Salesforce. Yesterday we have seen one of the map method by setting up the country and currency details. So if I wanted to get only the country information, countries are stored in the key and the values are stored as a currency. Open here. Right, so let's go to the debug, open. No, nothing is there. Fine. So yesterday we have written country and currency. From that we have seen type 1 how to set it, type 2 how to set it, different formats we have seen. And today what I'm going to do is we have a different type of a map. Map key can be stored as a primitive data type. So formats are, now I have a database. In this database, we have a key and value. Key and value. Now key can be the primitive data type. Value also can be the primitive data type. Key can be the primitive data type. Value can be the set of or S object, could be the S object, and key could be the S object, and value could be the list, or possible that value also can store the set, list or set. Similarly, key can be the set. Key accept only the set, but list can value can accept both of them. And here this could be a list or set, anything we can use it. So key, in the key only primitive data type S object, as well as in the collection we can accept only the set collection, only the set collection. Whereas in the values, all of them, all the data types can be accepted. Primitive data types, S object data type, and collection data type, and collection data type. Anything can be accepted. Now let's say I'm going to, let's use the S object. Yesterday we have seen with the primitive data type. Now today what I'm going to do is I'll declare the map of key as an integer. I'll take the integer, comma, value I'll take the list of account, list of account. Right, let's say this is the account list. This is account list equal to new map of integer, comma, list of account, list of account. That means in the key here, in the key we are storing the primitive data type. Whereas in the list, I am storing the collection list of the accounts. That means I am storing the multiple accounts details. I am storing the multiple account details in the map. Now, how can I store the multiple details here? For example, now let's say account. So first, if I wanted to store here, now what I need to do? I need to first build the list of accounts. First, build the list of accounts. That means I need to declare the list of accounts. List of account. So the above one is account map. And this is account list equal to new list of account. New list of account. Then we are going to for this. Now, but within this list, I need to add the each value. I need to add each value. So, for example, now let's say here, I'm going to declare the account ACC1 equal to new account, right? So, I'll take here name equal to, this is the, let's take it as a Infosys account, let's say Infosys, comma rating equal to warm. And what else we have? We have a time. What is the time? Let's go here, duplicate. Sorry, I'm into the wrong org. Let me connect the right org. No. Let's say duplicate. I'm going to open up the application, Sales Cloud application. Now, in the meantime, let's open the developer console. And file, close everything, debug open. Now we have the one which we have created yesterday. Right, this is the map information. Now continuation of that, what I'm doing is I'm creating the map of integer. Creating the map of integer. Now let me open this. File close off. Debug open. Perfect. This is the map of it. Now this is yesterday that we have did it. Yesterday we have implemented the map of string comma string where it is storing the country and currency. In the key, all the country is there, in the value, all the currencies. And we have seen a couple of them: key, set, value, size, get. These all methods we have seen. Now today what we are doing is by using the S object. By using the S object, I am going to implement how can I place the account inside this? How can I place the account inside this? So I am implementing or I am creating the account. Created the account instance, and within the account I am inserting a new records. Let's say type equal to what we have, type equal to prospect. Let's say that prospect. Type equal to prospect. Type equal to prospect. This is the new account. This is new account. Now similarly, I'll create a multiple accounts here. Account ACC2, account ACC2. Let's say name equal to PWC, rating equal to 1. Similarly, I'm going to take account 3 is name of the account is, let's say, Wipro. Now I have a 3 accounts. Now these all individual accounts, I'm going to store it into the account list. I'm going to store it into the account list dot add. Account list dot add. What I'm adding, ACC1. Right. Similarly, I'm adding the ACC2. ACC2, and then I have a ACC3. And then we have a ACC3. Now all these accounts I'm adding to the list one. Now what I'm did here so far, map is the highest one. Map is the highest one. Inside this I have a key is a primitive data type and value is a list of S object. List of S object. S object is account here. Now this is the high level. Now I divided this map. I divided and right now I need list of the accounts. So I declared the list of accounts. Then if I wanted the values to be there in the list of account, then I need to have an account somewhere initializing it. So I have initialized the account and ACC1, ACC2, ACC3, and I'm adding these accounts into the list. I'm adding these accounts into the list. Now I have added the accounts into the list. Now my list is done. List is done. List of account list is done. Now this account list, I need to place it onto the map. Account list, I need to place it onto the map. Now that means here I have a map, ACC map, ACC map dot. In order to place the values inside the map, we use a put keyword. We use put keyword. Initially, I'm taking the integer, right? So right now, let's take it as an integer 1, comma, I'm going to store the account list. Account list is ACC list. ACC list. Now that's it. Let's go ahead and print this system.debug. System.debug ACC map. Now how the values are stored into the ACC map, let's see that. I am executing from the 110 to the 122. Click on execute, highlighted. Let's open the log. Now here debug only. Now what is the value that I have? I have map 1 equal to ACC map 1 equal to account. That means, now let me take a copy of this. Let's go to the notepad. Now here we have a ACC map equal to 1. Now here 1 is the key. 1 is the key and whatever the account is there. Now inside this account, inside this is the array. Inside this array, we have an object. Now this is the first account. And then I have a second account. Second account. And then we have a third account. So total 3 accounts are there inside this. Now this is finally it is closed. Now that means it is stored in the database. Now here we have a key. Here we have a key and the value. So this is ACC map. This is ACC map. Now inside this ACC map, 1 is the key. 1 is the key. Now here, whatever this account, ACC, all these are there. So the entire array is stored into the value. After equal to, what are the values are there? Everything stored into the value. That means in the database, it has a key. It has a key. Now this is the ACC map. Now inside this ACC map, I have a key is here and this is the value. Inside the value, again value is divided into the 3 pieces. Again, value is divided into the 3 pieces. Now this is the ACC map. Key is a 1 and this is the ACC 1, the first one, ACC 2 and this is ACC 3. ACC 3. Now this is the key and the other one is value. Again the value is divided into the multiple pieces. Multiple pieces. Now this is how the data is stored. This is how data is stored. Now, so whenever we are creating a map, what all things gets executed at the back end? What are the things that gets executed in the back? So first thing, whenever map is executed, the first thing is that it will remove the duplicate keys. If there are any duplicate keys, then it is going to remove the duplicate keys. Values, don't worry. Values, if you have a duplicate also, it works. For example, if I am adding the value, here. So let's say that, let's go to the developer console. Now here, let's say that debug, open. Now if I'm adding one more value here, ACC4, which is the same name. Right? So it will accept it. Now if I execute this, it will give me the 4 account list. Values can have a multiple, but when you are inserting it, right? But when it did not accept, it did not accept. If you have a multiple, it did not accept ACC4 and I need to add it here, ACC list of the ACC4. ACC4. For example, I wanted to get this, execute the highlighted one. Now if I wanted to execute the highlighted one, now let's see. Now it is taken the Wipro, multiple values, it is accepting it. It is accepting the multiple values. But whenever I'm creating the duplicate value, if I'm cloning this and creating the duplicate value, system will not approve it. System will throw an error. Duplicate record found. Map is going to allow the duplicate values, but system will not allow you to create a duplicate records inside the Salesforce because we have a duplicate rules which is enabled. When you have a duplicate rules enabled, you cannot create a same account multiple times. Now this is perfectly fine. Now here, one is a duplicate keys. It will remove the duplicate keys. And the second one is it is going to arrange. It is going to arrange the data in ascending order. Data, it is going to ascending order. Whenever I execute it at the back end is backend logic is whenever it is storing into the database, whenever it's storing into the database, what it does before storing into the database, we have a business logic. We have a business logic. That business logic is implemented by the Salesforce. Now, in this business logic, what it does is first it will filter out the duplicate keys. Now, first condition is done. Second, it will arrange everything data into the ascending order. Done. Then after that, it will try to execute the logic and it will store that logic into the database. It will store that logic into the database. Finally, it will execute. So these all information is happening at the backend. These all information is happening in the backend. Right? So this is the map. So you will see in the fraction of seconds it is happening. In the fraction of second, it is happening. So it is going to remove the duplicate keys. It is going to arrange the data in the ascending and then it is going to execute it. And then it is going to execute it. Right? Now here, these are the things are happening. Now that means, right? So whenever we execute the map, these are the records are happening. These are the executions are happening at the backend. But how much time it is taking the Salesforce? Salesforce just taking the fraction of seconds. It is not taking more than anything. So it's just loading and executing it. I can see the allocation of the Infosys name, rating, and the ACC1, ACC2, ACC3, and then finally ACC4. And then we are adding that to the list. And the list is output we are adding into the ACC map. Output we are adding into the ACC map. Now, so far we have not done any DML operation. So far we have not done any DML operation. We have not done any DML operation. Let's say for example, now here I'm adding the Infosys PwC Wipro, right? Wipro. And let me add one more here instead of Wipro. Let me take account. Let me take account. Now if I try to take a account, let's say execute this. Now where is my value is going to display? My value is going to display at the last. Value is going to display at the last. But whereas if I add here, now let's say account list, I'm adding the one more account list. And one more, I'm adding it. Let's say here I'm going to put 2. First one is a 2 and second one is 1. Now which order it is taking? Is it taking in the 2 and 1 or is it taking in the sorting order? Is it taking in the sorting order? So sorting is always done based on the keys, not based on the values. Not based on the values. It will just take the based on the key because key is the unique. Key is the unique and it does not have a duplicate. So in the map, always sorting does based on the key. And like this, we can keep on storing how many ever records. Like if you have a 50,000 accounts in the system, you can store the 50,000 records, right? So maximum whatever the limit is there, you can store inside this. But the limit of the heap size, You can store maximum whatever is there. But the heap size of the list is 12 MB. Now you do whatever you want, whether you wanted to store 100 accounts, 200 accounts, or whatever you wanted to do. But this is the heap size, that means the storage allocation for the list. That is storage allocation for the list. Now it's based on the size of the heap. It's based on the heap size. Now it doesn't matter whether you are storing the 100 records or whether you are storing the 200 records or whether you are storing the 10,000 records, it doesn't matter. If the memory is full, ultimately it will give you the error which is called as a, ultimately it is going to give you the error which says the error is CPU timeout or a heap size or heap size. Now here it is some 6 lakh it is available. For the list it is a 12 MB. Now there is actually no limit on the size of the how many records you are storing it. There is no limit on the how many records I can store it, whether I can store 10 records or whether I can store 20 records or whether I can store 100 records or 10,000. There is no limit on that. There is no limit on that. It's not defined limit for the size of the list or a size of the map or size of the set. So the limit, it is a, basically it's depending on the heap size, which is currently 12 MB per each job. That means each job means each execution. Each execution, it is a 12 MB. Now in that execution, if it is a 12 MB is gross, 12 MB is more than enough. 12 MB is more than enough. So it's all depending on the your heap size, CPU time, and the DML statement. So there is no kind of a limits on the collection. There is no kind of a limits on the collection. Now, for example, we are storing the multiple records here. We are storing the multiple records. Now here I am storing the multiple records into the value. Now if I wanted to get the all the account details, then I can get the account details everything at one point, because I have a option ACC map dot values. ACC map dot values, which will return the list of the values that contains inside the map. But let's assume that once I have received this list of the values, if I wanted to get this, each one of them I wanted to get it, then what you need to do, all the values, you need to store it into the list. You need to store it into the list of the account. Now here is ACC output list equal to ACC map dot values. What are the values are there? Get all the values and store all the values into the list. Store all the values into the list. Now let me print ACC output list. ACC output list. Click on execute. 126 line. ACC map dot values. What is the exact keyword? Values. It has to be values. Click on execute the highlighted one. Illegal assignment from the list to the list of the account. So basically it is converting into the list of account. That means you need to store it into the list of account. List of account. Already I have a list of accounts. When I say values, it is going to convert this list of accounts into the another list of accounts. Now let me show you this. Right, you have a two arrays are there. You have a two arrays. Within the two arrays, one array is complete account, all these informations are there. And second is you have a nothing, no values are there. So when I say ACC map dot values, let's say here ACC map dot values, I'm going to print this ACC map dot, let me take out this ACC map dot values. Let me create a to list here. List of the account ACC list 1, and let's say here 3 and 4 I'm adding into the ACC list 1. No, perfect. Now let me take this. Now multiple list so that you can see the output. Execute it. Debug. Now, when you see the ACC map, when you see the normal ACC map, this is the normal. I have not done anything. Now here I have you have just a object. Within that object, now you have a key equal to 1, right? This is the account details. This is account details. Now here you have an account and 2 accounts are there. Then after that we have a second key. We have a second key. Inside the second key we have an account, second account, and then third account. Second account and the third account. And then finally we are closing the main. Now this is the main array. So inside this main array, we have an object. Again, within this object, we have an account. This is the first object and this is the second object. This is the second object. And then within the 1, I have a 2 records. 2, within the 2, I have a 2 records. This is normal ACC map. But if I say ACC map dot values, what is happening? When I say ACC map dot values, copy this. This is the ACC map dot values. As soon as I say values, observe this. I have a value says key, I'll not get it, but I'll get the values. That means I should get only this one and only this one, right? This is one list and this is another list. But what is happened here in the values? It is taking the value list here. This is the main list. This is main list. And this list, it is adding inside the another list. It is adding inside the another list. This is one list and we have another list here. Right, this is. Now this is one list, this is second list, and then finally we have another list of it. This is the parent list. This is parent list. Parent list. And this is one list. And then again I have another list. So whenever we take a values, these list always is placed again into the list. Again into the list. That's the reason ACC map dot values is output is list of account. List of account. List of account. Not only the account as object, if you take a string also or integer also, whatever you take, if you are converting into the values means whatever the data type it might be, primitive data type, a subject data type or collection data type, values, whatever it might be, everything it will be converted into the nested list. Everything is converted into the nested list. If you have a values of list, if you have a values already inside the map, you have a values as a list, then it will be converted as a nested list. It will be converted as a nested list. Now that means if you have a map of string, now let's say instead of string, let's say this is the data type, comma, if you have a data type, right, data type. Now here it is variable name, variable name equal to map of data type, comma, data type equal to new map of data type, comma, data type. This is the simple. This is simple. If it is a simple map where the values are a simple, values are simple. In that case, whenever you are doing the values, whenever you are using the values method, map of values method, map of values method is output of this. Output of this is normal list of the data type. Normal list of the data type, because here it is a single. Here it is a single. Here it is a single. Now this single is moved into the list. Let's suppose if it is a, let's say, complex map. Complex map. If it is a complex map, now values also, what are the values output is there? Values are stored into the, now in the complex, values are storing into the list. Stored in list. Now for this, that means I have a map of, data type, and then values are stored into the list of data type, comma, then variable name, values already storing into the list. Values already storing into the list. Now in this case, the map dot values output is, list of, again one more list inside this. It's a nested list. Nested list. The output is list of data type. Then let's suppose I have a set. Instead of a list, I have a set. Instead of a list, I have a set. Now debug, open. Let's assume that I'm going to take this. Now let me copy this. I'll change everything into the set. I'll change everything into the set. Now here, map of, instead of a list, I'll change it to the set. I'll change it to the set. So in that case, I'll go for set, and this is set of accounts, set of accounts, set of account. Now, can I store set of account? Can I store set of account, which is possible? Now, let me show you that. Say here up to the this. Perfect. Now, what I'm doing here, set of account, I'm doing it. Let's see. Debug. Now, it is taking the set of, this is the first record, this is the second record. First record, second record. And everything is storing into the set. Everything is storing into the set. Now I'm going to, what I'll do is, whatever I have in this ACC map, list of set of account. List of set of account. Let's see whether it will work. Execute. And it is working. Inside the list, I need to use the set. So whatever it might be, okay? So basically whatever the collection data type you are using it inside the map, whatever the collection data type, whether it could be a list or a set, whatever you are using it. So the exactly same will be fit inside this list or set. List or set. Here, this is the map. Inside the map, we have a key and then values are there. Key and the values. If your key is a primitive data type, okay, let's say primitive data type. Let's say this integer. And here map is having a values of list of something data type is there here, whether it could be a primitive, could be a s object, or could be a anything, let's say echo. Now out of this I wanted to take out the list of accounts. If I wanted to take out the list of accounts into the another box, I wanted to take out the list of accounts into the another box. If I wanted to take out into the another box, the keyword which I have map dot values. When I use a map dot values, the map dot values output is stored into the list data type. The output data type of the output is list data type. That means this is already a list. This is already a list. Now inside this, whatever the values are there, you just wanted to place it inside the list. Inside the list. So which is list of account. For example, if you have a map where it is an integer and set, where you have an integer and this is values are set. Values are set. Here it is a set. Now, if you have a set of it, that means the output will be, the output of map dot values is always a list. Map dot values is always list is the output. Now this time, what is the values it is stored? It is stored the values of set. That means list of set of accounts. List of set of accounts. Now if it is a single value, then it is simply storing the single inside the list. Now for example, I have this, and then let's say that I'm going to store only the account which is a single account information I'm storing it. If it is a single account information, the map dot value, values is definitely it is a list. The values is definitely it is a list. Now inside this list, I'm going to store a single account. Whatever the output is there, the single account I'm going to store it. Single account is I'm going to store it. So this is the how map dot values is going to store the values. Map dot values are going to store the values inside this. Clear? Any questions? Let's move on. Going back to the our developer console. Now this is how you can get this. Once you get the values, now I have got the values into the account group, account put list. Now whatever this account put list is there, that account put list, right now I have a values. Now once I have the values, what I can do, I can loop through this. I can loop through this list of account and get the individual values. Get the individual values. So that's how we will be doing it. So that we will do it in further going on. But right now, this is the overall. Right? In case if you have, for example, if you want to store, there is a very complex scenario is map, within the map also you can store it. map. Within the map also you can store it, which is a nested map. But that is very rare scenarios, very rare scenarios. Now we will not be using map within the map because that is too complicated. That is too complicated. Whether it's a too complicated. Now sometimes if you wanted to know, now yesterday did we see the contents key? Okay. Now sometimes I wanted to know here whether the key is contained in this map or not. I have an account list. Right now we are storing finally into the ACC map. In the ACC map, we are adding the all of the ACC list and ACC list 2. What are the list? Two lists are there. Two lists I'm adding here. I'm getting the values. Now I wanted to check whether is there a key which is available or not. Is there a key available or not? So that means I wanted to check whether there is a this particular key is available or not. Now let me declare new map here. Let's say map of string, comma string. Now I'm going to take here nature and colors. Nature colors. Let's take it as a nature colors equal to new map of string, comma string. String, comma string. Now let's say I'm going to add nature colors equal to dot put. The first one is also a string and the second one is also a string. Now let's say here trees, right? So trees are green color. Right, and then I'm going to add one more nature colors dot put. Now let's say here sky. Let's say it's a blue color. Now these are the two things which I have added. Now I wanted to check whether the sky is available in this or not. Whether in this map sky key is available or not. In that case, we need to check contains key. Contains key. If this key is contains or not, sky. Now let me print system.debug. System.debug. I'm going to print what are the output of this. Let me print this. Contains whatever the contents key is there, this contents key, I'm going to place it. Here execute, then it is going to print me whether the key is contained or not. If it is contained, then it is going to use the true. And similarly in the map, we have a clone, deep clone. Now yesterday we have seen the clone and deep clone in the list. The same concept is available in the map also. If you want to clone it to the another account, for example, you have a map of account. This is map of account, comma, set of accounts. Now you wanted to create another map of account. That means you wanted to clone it. In case if you wanted to clone it, you can use the clone or a deep clone. Either one you can use it. Either one you can use it. Now in case if you wanted to verify whether the map is empty or not, whether map is empty or not. In that case, what you can do, you can check whether natural colors dot is empty. Is empty. Now this is map empty. And let me execute it. Now it will give me whether it is empty or not. Now it is false. That means the data is available. That means the data is available. Now, another keyword is put all. Now, yesterday we have seen add all, right? List dot add, and also we have another keyword list dot add all. From the list to another list, if you wanted to add everything, you can use the add all. Similarly, we have a here put in the map put all. So if you want to put everything into the there, then you can use the put all. In the list, yesterday we have seen add all. Now similarly, we have it inside the map also we have a put all, put put all. Now, if you wanted to remove the key, you can remove the key. If you remove the key, automatically the related whatever the values are there, the values also get removed. The values also get removed. Now, these are the one which are available inside the map. These are the methods which are available inside the map. We will see the examples with by implementing in the Apex class, but mostly we will use the contents key, right? Get, put all, get key, right? And values, all these things we will use. In the real time, we use all the collections, list, set, map, and most of all the methods will be used. It's based on the requirement, right? So if you wanted to get the keys, use the get keys. If you wanted to use the key set, if you wanted to get all the keys information, you can use a key set. If you wanted to get the values, use the values. Or if you wanted to get specific value per specific key, now in that case, get key of that, so that you will get the value, right? If you wanted to get the individual value from the list, then you need to store it into the list and look through this list and get the individual values. So it's all based on the requirement, how the developer wants it. It's a how the developer wants it. Based on the developer need, they can use whatever methods are there. Now, if you wanted to know what are the methods which are available inside the map, you can use here map. Now, inside this map, you can use the map methods. Inside this map methods, you can use the clear, clone, contains key, deep, clone equals to get key, right? Hash code is empty, key set, put all, right? Remove size, values, to string, everything, most of the things which we have seen, whatever we use in the real time. Now you can use this reference and pasting this link. Right, you can use that reference, and if you want, you can go through that. That is a referral of the Salesforce documentation. Now, the next we will see topic. Now, whenever you wanted to check, for example, now let's say here, let's say this is the, we have the data information. Now, if it is a containing this key, if it is containing this key, then I wanted to do some execution, some logic. I need to execute it. I need to execute some logic, right? So in that case, we need something called as a conditions, right? That we will see later. Now the next we will see what is the differences between the map, set and list. Map, set, list, set and map. What is the differences between the each one of them? We have seen, we have understood each one of them, list, set, map. Now let's compare all three of them. Now list is a collection of elements, ordered elements, ordered elements. That means whatever the order you provide the elements, whatever the order you provide the values, the same order it will take it. Set is an unordered element, unordered element. Whatever the way that you have provided it, it will modify that. It will not take it in the same order. It will put the ascending, and wherever the based on the ascending order, it might your places of the values might be changed. It is a unordered element. Map is a collection of key value pair. Map is a collection of key value pair. This is the first difference. And the list allows the duplicate values, whereas set does not allow the duplicate values. It should have a unique values. And map allows the duplicate values, but key must be unique. Key must be unique. Values can be duplicate. Values can be duplicate, but key has to be a unique and it should not accept the key as a duplicate key. And the third one is list contains. Inside the list, I can use the primitive data type, S object data type, and the apex object, and the collection itself also I can use it. Collection also I can use it. Apex objects are which are different. Now we will discuss going further. That means I can create an object within the apex also. I can create an object within the apex. That means not the account or not the custom object, not that. Inside the apex also we can create a objects. Those objects also we can refer inside the list. We will see going further what are those apex objects. Now, set contains the primitive data type and S object. It cannot take the apex objects. Whereas map, key can have a primitive data type, string, integer, date, where the values can be included in the primitive apex object, S object, and other collections. And inside the key, I can also accept the S object. Inside the key, I can also accept the S object and as well as the set object, set collection, as well as set collection. So key can be the primitive data type, S object and set, whereas values can be everything, primitive, apex object, S object, other collections. The other collections is nothing but list, set and map. Now take a notes of it.
Ma'am, one thing is I'm not clear. So in the map, right, you've given an example of an account map, account list or something like in the first example. So you fetched all the list of items from the accounts, right? So I want to display the third record like Wipro. So in that case, I mean, how I can do that? That I'm not able to recollect. So that's what I'm asking you.
Directly, third value, you will get it. If it is your map is a list, if your map is storing the values as a list, directly third value within the list, you will not be able to get it. In case if your map is having a primitive data type or a single S object, in that case, you can get the third value. How can you get it based on the gate key?
So for that, there is no solution.
Solution is unique, that's what I'm saying. So if you have a list, in the values, get those all the list into the, store it into the one variable, which is a list of account, and loop through that list of account and get which are the account you want, get that value.
Okay. I mean, iteration, like while doing the iteration, again, it's little complex, ma'am. I mean,
Yeah, that's how we have it. Direct, you will not get. Now, if you go for a list, now in the list, now let's go back to the little bit list. Okay. Now in this list, now let me give you here. Now we have also seen, okay, list of it. Okay. So from this list of integer, how will you get the third one? Is there a way? From the list, can I get third value here? Is there a way? No, yesterday, whatever we have discussed.
yeah,
How can I get the
Based on the
third value?
key value.
Content.
Content. How will I get the third one? In case if you wanted to get the third one, how you will get it? Get the index, third index. Similarly, here also, if you wanted to get the third index. Now here I have a list of the account map. Now whatever this account output list is there, account output list is there. From this, I wanted to get the third index.
Yeah, get key index, yes.
Right, so what are the list methods are there? I need to put that list methods. Dot get, let's say here I'm going to get the, we have just inside this list ACC map, I have a 4 records 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the second index. Second index. Let's execute it. Now this account list, let's move it into the 0. Of list is not possible. List of list is not possible. Let's say 0th index. Let's click on this debug. Now it is giving me the 0th index. 0 and 2. Yeah, it is. Why it is storing the account map list? Only 2 it is storing it. Why it's just a second. Now we are storing the account map 2 and the 1. 3, 4. So we have a 4 values here. Am I getting the values all 4? 1, 2. Only 2 I am getting it. Why so? Oh, okay. So this is one list, this is another list, 2 list. Okay, right. Perfect. Okay. So by using the account put list dot get 0, I can get the information. So this is the first, the 0th index. I do not have a third index, so that's the reason it did not give me the result. Only I have a 0 and 1 index. So directly by using the get index, you can get it. If you do not want to use the loop. But how do you know that what is there in the index? In practical scenario, this is not the right way to do. In the real time, now for practice purpose, you can use the 0 because you know what is the value is stored here. But in the real time, you don't know what is the 0th index is there. You need to do some condition check there.
Yes,
Whether
ma'am.
if it is in my account name is Wipro, then only get that key. So that you cannot just use the get 0, get first, get second, get third. Practically it is not right. For practice purpose, you can do it, but real time, this is not the right way to do.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Any other questions?
Ma'am, another thing like account, you are sending the 3 parameters, which is I was expecting some other output. The same whatever the parameters you are sending it, the same output is also getting. So what is that? I mean,
Can
is
you
this
repeat your question again?
you are sending the account, right? And you go with the 113 line number. The new account, the 3 parameters you are passing, right? I was expecting some other output. I mean, the same output, whatever the parameters you are passing, the same thing I'm getting. So what is that? I mean,
Repeat your question again.
I'm audible, ma'am.
Yes, you are audible, but your question is not right. Can you repeat
Okay.
your question?
Go with the 113 line number, new account. You're passing the 3 parameters, right?
right?
I think he's mentioning, yeah, name is equal to Infosys rating,
Name, rating,
key
and type.
values. Hmm.
So for this account, I mean, you're passing these parameters based on that, you'll get some output, right? I mean, this account is a function, what you're passing, right? I mean, I was expecting some output like from passing the by the parameters. I was expecting some output, but the same parameters I'm getting in that function output. What is that? I mean, is it new account is a function or it's a dummy function? I'm not able to understand this.
Divide your question. What is your question? Divide your question.
How can I say? Yeah, what is the output for this 113, ma'am? I mean, you are passing the
Okay.
three parameters, right?
Hey, tell me, what is the output will I get it?
I
What
was
is this
expecting
account, first of all?
based on
What is
this
the account?
Infosys account, I'm expecting few more parameters from the, I mean, in the output.
No, forget about that, few more parameters. What is this account? Is this a function, method, or what is this?
It's a function, ma'am.
Okay. Now, in this function, that means Salesforce has already have a account logic is already implemented there. Account business logic is already there here. In this account business logic, there are so many fields are there. There are some 20 fields are there. Out of these 20 fields, what is the purpose of passing this? Why do I need to pass this information?
Okay, I mean, in that, maybe you're like filtering that, right? Based on the parameters.
No, what is the purpose of it? Like, why do I need to pass it this? What is the purpose of it, first of all? Now, let's forget about this. Now, if I open the account object, now let's go to the account. Now, if I click on a new object, new record. Now, when I create a record here, for example, I am creating a record here in Infosys. I'll click on a save. If I click on a save, only as soon as I click on a save, all the fields information will be automatically filled by the Salesforce.
Few of the things.
Only the one which we have provided, that is the one will be stored. That means the output will be only related to the name. Right? I'm not expecting these all fields to be filled by the automatically. I'm not filling this. There are 20 fields are there. Out of 20 fields, I'm just entering the name and the rating and the type I'm entering. So when I enter this information, I'm only interested in name, rating, type. Then why should it give me the output of phone, fax, website? First of
So
all,
in this,
developer is not interested at all. So when I
okay,
create this, so I'll
in
be
that,
having only the output of name, rating, type. That's the reason I have getting the output of name, rating, type.
okay, got it, got it. So in that case, like, what are the parameters we are expecting? Those parameters only we need to pass.
That is the that's what I'm saying it. If the requirement is says that now create a account name, rating, type, phone number, fax. If we have all these values, then only create a account. Then in that case, I need to pass name, rating, type, phone, and website, whatever is there. So what are the mandatory informations are there? If you think in the real time, we need to capture few data. We need to capture few data. Not entire data, but many of the data we need to capture. So that means whichever the data you feel that I need the information of the data. If I'm taking the customer information, I need to know about customer. That means including the address also I need to know. So in that case, I'll add it here address.
Got
So
it.
whatever the details that I needed from the person, only those information I'll be capturing it here. If I'm capturing those information, why should Salesforce should show me the output of the billing address, output of the shipping address? It need not to be because this is my expectation. If Salesforce is going to show all the 100 fields here, it is unnecessarily we are occupying the space for that.
I got you, ma'am. I got it.
No, right now the data is not stored. Let's say here I'm saying the Infosys 1407 and PwC 1407 and Wipro 1407, and let's say this is instead of account, let's put it as a essential 1407. If I try to execute this, the record will not be created in the Salesforce. The record will not be created in the Salesforce. Click on execute. Debug. Now this is the ACC map, and here new account. If I go to the account, the record will not be created. I have to do the DML. Only if you do the DML, then only it will be stored. But right now what is happening is there is a temporary space which is allocated for this collection. There is a temporary space which is allocated for the collection before it is hitting to the actual database and actual account record. Before hitting to the account record, in the storage, we have a collection separate space is available for the collection. In that collection, temporarily, it is going to allocate it here. Now, once you do the DML operation, that's how it is going to insert the record. And DML insert, you cannot do it on the map. DML insert, you cannot do it on the map. Either you have to do it the list, because list of the records. DML is list of the records. Now that we will see later. Now inside the map, you have an integers key and value. If you do the insert map, insert ACC map, it will not understand what is insert map because it has a key and values. So DML directly map, you cannot do it. You have to divide that and do the DML. But yes, then DML, without DML, you cannot store the data into a specific object. But there is a temporary space is available where the data is stored into the account map. The temporary storage will be created during the runtime and deleted after the execution. Now, whenever I'm executing the program, while executing the program in the storage, there is a space gets allocated and it will display the ACC map. And as soon as I'm done with the execution, this space will be deleted automatically. So this is a temporary. Taken the notes of it, differences. Let me know once you have taken the notes. Okay. Now, let's see the use case. The use case of it is write a program to perform mathematical operations on the two numerical values. So that means I have a first number, second number. On this first number, second number, I need to perform additional operation. I need to perform the subtraction. I need to perform the multiplication result and division and math.mod. Now, let me give you the information here. I'm going to perform these four: additional, subtraction, multiplication, division. which is a straightforward, Now I can go here. Now let's say integer. Either you can use the integer, or if you want, you can use the double also, long also, you can use it. So let's say integer, first number equal to 100. Let's say integer, I have a second number. Now I'm going to get the addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. For the addition, I'm simply using let's declare the integer here. Let's store the output into the another integer result. Now let's say here result equal to whatever the first number is, that first number plus the second number. Second number. Similarly, I'm going to have a subtraction where it is a subtraction is first number minus second number. And multiplication is, it is a multiplication. And then finally we have a division, which is writing it. Perfect, this is a simple, straightforward. And then I'm going to print system.debug. Now, in the system.debug, additional result. Let's say result. And I'm going to print the subtraction also. Now this is a mul system.debug, and this is a division. Right, if I try to execute, I'll get what will happen if I try to execute this? If I try to execute, what is the output? Will I get it? What is the output? Will I get it?
Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. All the results will.
Will I get the result or will I get the error?
We'll get the error, ma'am. We are not mentioned the second number. The value
Second
we are
number.
not mentioned.
And second number is not mentioned, and in the result we are giving it same.
We have initialized the integer, but I have not assigned the value to the second number. So what will happen if I try to execute? What it is saying that system.null pointer exception. In the real time, we will see this kind of errors. System.null pointer exception. And in interview also they will ask what is the system.null pointer exception. That means while executing some logic, at some point, the variable does not hold any value. So attempted to do dereference null object. That means there is an error. Now if you click on this, if you scroll down, fatal error. This is fatal error. One of the fatal error is system.null pointer exception. system dot null pointer exception. So this is usually we will see whenever the logic is getting executed. Now, if I provide 40, now I'll get the result. Right, all the result I'm getting. Let's assume if I provide, for example, here, let's assume using the Visual Force page, I have created the UI where it is a first name, first number and the second number, and we are showing the result here. Now let's assume that in the second number, say user has entered 0. In the first number, they have entered 40. In the first number, they have entered 40. Now what will be the output will I get it? This is 40 and this is second number is I'm initializing the value. User is assigning the value here 0. 0 is second number. But what is the output will I get it? Will it execute or will it throw an error?
Execute.
It will execute it. Or, okay, so addition will work perfectly fine. 40 plus 0, it works. 40 minus 0 also it works. 40 multiplication of 0, it works. But how about this 40 by second? How about 40 by second? Will it give the output or will it give the... Okay, so let's see that. Now if I try to execute this, what is the error I'm getting it? System.math exception. System.math exception. Click on OK. Now let's close it. Now let's see that. What is that error? Fatal error. It is giving me the fatal error saying that system.math exception. What is happened? Till this point, till 14th line, everything got executed and it is showing the error at the 14th line, which is a fatal underscore error, system.math exception. System.math exception. Right, so here it is giving me the error. Now, these kind of issues we might see in the real time. That means in the real time, this is a simple logic that I have written it. But in the real time, definitely we have some logic which we will be implementing whenever the lead is created. I wanted to check all the values. Suddenly, if the value is there is a value, but it is not a valid value. That is not a valid value. If it is not a valid value, how should we handle those kind of issues? How should we handle those kind of issues? Now, whenever we write a Apex logic, the actual Apex code, whatever the code is there, assume that they have written the code. The developer has written the Apex code, which is also called as a source code. So, Salesforce, the developer has implemented the logic or implemented the Apex code, which is called as a source code. When they are implementing the logic, and then they click on a save button. So as soon as they click on a save button, there is a compilation that gets executed. Where it is going to execute the compilation on the Apex compiler. On the Apex compilers, the first thing it is going to check the syntax or any error messages, or if you have written the logic incorrectly, right? Or mostly it is a syntax error, or if you have missed any semicolon, or it's not in the proper order of the line that you have written, or the comments you have not specified correctly. Those information it is going to give you in the compilation. Once the compilation verifies the entire logic intact, it is not going to check the functionality. It is going to check the way you have written the logic, the code, is that right code or not? The syntax or whatever is there, is that created perfectly as per the Salesforce defined, is that written correctly or not? is that written correctly or not. So it is going to cross-verify the information. In case if everything goes fine, perfect. In case if there is any error, what will happen? We will receive a compilation error, syntactical mistake, or some lack of resources, or some resources are not available. When I say resources are not available, there is a possibility that it is logged by another user. In that case, during the compilation, we will get an error on the source code, we will get an error and the developer can see immediately that error. Assume that everything is processed perfectly fine. Everything is written perfectly fine. Now it is a time either developer has to execute the Apex code or user has to do some kind of a logic. User has to do some kind of a logic. Kind of a logic. Right? So this is either developer has to execute it or it has to be developer has to execute or user has to execute some functionality. Assume that developer is executing the code to check what is the output I am going to get it if I execute this logic. If I get that logic. Now here it is the Apex runtime. Apex runtime. So in the Apex runtime, that means they are executing the logic. While executing the code, if there is any errors, that means fatal error. Fatal errors could be anything, system null pointer or some logic you have written correctly, but the values that we are getting from the output is not right. Output is not right. Due to the possibility is there that while executing the code or while runtime of the error or exception, there is a possibility that logic that you have written incorrectly, or else due to the invalid input values, or the user has given the incorrect input values, or for user perspective it is a valid. But we did not consider that input. While writing the code, we did not consider that input. That kind of a scenario we did not consider it. Or due to the missing values for the required fields, there is a possibility that required fields are missing. Now, whenever we get this kind of errors, how can we handle this kind of errors during the execution? How can we handle during the execution of this logic? In order to handle this kind of execution, while executing it, we need every Apex code should have a conditional statement exception handling. These two things are very important in the Apex. Whatever the code you write a small code or you write a very large code, you write a code, every code in the Apex should have a logic that should be implemented, either conditional statement or exception handling. That means during the runtime, all of a sudden, it should not suddenly break the code to the user, because user will not understand if we show the error in the code, right? So if suddenly I see divided by 0 does not work, or if I show them the fatal error, they will not understand. So it is always every code in the Apex has to implement conditional statement and exceptional handling. Take a note of it. Okay. So we will see how to handle the conditional statement. How to handle the conditional statement. In the conditional statement, Apex has, so far we have a, let's say it's a 2 conditional statement. We have a 2 conditional statement. If condition, switch statement. If condition and switch statement. There are 2 type of conditional statement, if condition and switch statement. Now let's see the if condition. Now in the if condition, what is the if condition? This is generic term. Any technology, you go for any technologies, these conditions are common. These conditions are common. If condition is basically by using the if condition, we can add one or more user defined conditions. By using the if condition, we can add one or more user defined conditions to be get verified before executing the statement. In our scenario, we have here the scenario which we are seeing here. Now, whenever the user enters 0, here 0 is might be valid for the users. But I need to check here before doing the division. I need to check if second number, if second number is greater than 0. If second number is greater than 0, then only they do the logic. Then only execute the logic. If I say here, if it is greater than 0, then only execute the div. Now if I try to execute it, execute the highlighted one. Now here it is. I'm not getting any pattern error. I'm not getting any pattern error. It is saying that just addition, subtraction, multiplication, output I'm getting it. I'm not getting the division. I'm not getting the division because it is not greater than 0. It is not greater than 0. So by using this, we can use the if condition to cross verify whether it has a valid information or not. While executing the logic, we can verify what is the condition that we have it. And if the conditions are satisfied, then it will execute the statement. If the conditions are satisfied, then it will execute the statement, or else it has to skip the execution of the statement. It should not go inside it. Now, how the cursor will execute it? Now, the cursor, whenever I'm executing the Apex code, it will execute the first line, second line, and third line initialization. Now, immediately it will go to the fourth line, and then we are going to print the system.debug. Like this, line by line, it will go till division. Now, as soon as in the division, when it check the if condition, if this is not true, it will directly come back to the 192 line. That means between this, it will not execute the logic. Between this, it will not execute the logic. Between this, it will not execute the logic. So result equal to first number slash second number. So that means system.debug, it will not execute those logic. If it is a true, if the second number is somewhere 10, then in that case, it will go, this condition is true. Then it will go inside, it will execute these 2 lines, and it will come back to the 192 line. Right? If it is a true, then only it will go the executing the inside logic. If it is a false, it will not execute the inside logic. It will not execute the inside logic. So here, if the conditions are satisfied, then it will execute the statement, else it will skip the execution of the statements. Now, by using the if condition, we can change the control flow of the program execution. Definitely. Which line to be executed, that we can know. Which line to be executed, we will know. If condition provides the 4 formats. One is simple if condition, if else condition, else if condition, nested if condition. There are formats are there. Simple if condition, if else condition, else if condition, nested if condition. Take a notes of it. Let's see the simple if. Simple if condition. Now, simple if condition is each condition should follow the syntax like a variable, name, operator, value. Variable name, operator, value. That means syntax is if the condition. That means here we have written in the previous, in the developer console, if second number is greater than 0, then execute the statements inside this. That means I have a condition. If the condition is true, then execute the statement. Then execute the statement. Now, similarly, like example, in the conditions, what we can put in the condition, you can put the condition if the rating equal to hot, then execute the statement. Or else if the industry equal to finance, then execute the statement. Or let's say that if phone number is not equal to null, then execute the statement. If you want to check multiple conditions, you can also check the multiple conditions. For example, if industry equal to banking and annual revenue is greater than 20,000, I wanted to check two conditions. If these two conditions are qualified, that means this is a true, then it will execute the statement. So it has to be account, industry is banking, and account amount. That means annual revenue should be greater than 20,000. Annual revenue should be greater than 20,000. In that case, we can execute the logic. Take a notes of it. Done? Okay. So let's move on. The next one is a if-else condition. If-else condition. It's the same syntax is if the condition. I have a condition here. If the condition is true, then I'm displaying the statement 1. But in case if the condition is false. Now here, let's take the same scenario. Now here, if the condition is true, then only I'm executing it. For example, if it is a false, I'm displaying the output of addition result, subtraction, multiplication, right? I'm displaying the output of addition, sub and mul. But I'm not displaying the division. So how should user will know that what is the wrong with div? Why I'm not getting the div? The output I'm getting the addition, subtraction, multiplication. But what happened to div? So we should give some information to the client or should give the information to the end user so that they know that whatever the value they have entered, it's not a valid value. Right? So in that case, I need to have a condition here else. I need to have a condition here else. In case if it is not that, in case if the second number is not greater than 0, in that case, show the output system.debug, say that cannot perform the division if second number is 0. So that user will understand, oh, okay, I'm leaving the 0. So that's the reason it is division is not working here. Division is not working here. Right? Now, how can I add a single quote within the parent single quote? Now I want the 0 to be displayed within the quote. Now I wanted to add here another single quote. Now how can I display that? Now if I try to execute, what will happen? It will give me the error. If I try to execute it, it will give me the error because 0. Now, but I want basically I want the output. I want the output like this I need. Cannot perform the division if the second number is 0. It 0 has to be in the single quote. How can I add it? I think yesterday or day before yesterday we have discussed. How can we add it? Maybe how can I add it? Has to be a forward slash, not backward slash. On this, let's see. This and the debug is now here is addition, I'm getting subtraction, I'm getting mul, I'm getting it. And the last one is cannot perform the division if the second number is 0. This is the if else. This is if else. If the condition is true, we are executing the statement. In case if it is a false, showing the error message to the statement 2. That means syntax is if the condition is true, write the execute the statement, else execute the else statement. Execute the else statements. Take notes of it. Let's see one requirement. Write a Apex program to find out the biggest number from the given two numbers. Write an Apex program to find out the biggest number from the given number. Given two numbers. So first I need to declare the two numbers. That means integer, first number, and similarly integer, second number. Now I need to check if first number is greater than second number. If first number is greater than second number, then I wanted to show system.debug. Let's say this is the first number is the biggest. Biggest number. Or else I'll go for else. I'll say the system.debug. Second number is the biggest number. Now let me execute this. Second number is the biggest number. Why it is giving the second number is the biggest number? Why it is giving me the second number is the biggest number? Did I assign the values to it? It is not assigned. But still it is giving me the second number is the biggest number. But do you think that if I have given the values, for example, I have given the values here, 78 and let's say 45. If I assign a values and if it is giving the value, then if it says first number is the biggest number, then that is true. It is true because the first number is the biggest, which is perfectly fine. But when I do not give any value, if I do not assign any value, or let's say that I am giving the same value here, then giving the same value. First number is the same, second number is also a same. Now in that case, what will happen? It is going to execute the else condition. It is going to execute the else condition. That means here I have an if condition. If is clearly mentioned. If this condition is true. If this condition is true, then only execute it. But in the else, I did not mention any condition. I did not mention any condition here. What if the first condition is false? If the first condition is false, simply execute the else condition. Simply execute the else condition because else does not have any condition check. Because else does not have any condition check. Else does not have any condition check. It's simply going to the else condition. If this is true, then go to this line. If this condition is false, simply go to the else condition. In the else, I'm not checking any condition. So that means execute this. Now, basically, before executing any statement within the if condition or else condition, here I have a key. If this key is true, then only open this statement and execute the statement. But here in the else condition, I do not have any key to check or any condition to check. Simply, it will come and execute it. Whether the first number, second number is a blank or a null or a same value, whatever it might be. By default, in case if this condition is not matching, simply it will execute the system.debug. Simply, it will execute the system.debug, which is not right, which is not right. Practically, in the real time, that is not the right. In the real time, which is not right. Now, how can we handle? In order to handle that, we have something called another one which we have if else condition. But before going to that, take a assignment. Probably we will do that tomorrow. Take a assignment, write a Apex program to find out the student result as below. Okay. To find out the write a Apex program to find out the student result as below. We have the five subject. Student has a five subject: English, Maths, Physics, Chemistry, Hindi. Now, in this scenario, do not assign the same value. Do not assign the same value. It has to be a different values. Okay, same value we will see tomorrow. Now write the Apex program to find out the student result as below. And student will be having a 5 subjects: English, Maths, Physics, Chemistry, Hindi. English, Maths, Physics, Chemistry and Hindi. So pass marks are if the student got more than 40 marks in each subject, then that is a pass. If the student got below the 40 marks in any of the subject, then it is a fail. For example, student is got a 50 in the English and 70 is in the math and physics is the 60 and chemistry is, let's assume that 80 and Hindi he got it 30. That means this is a fail. This is fail. So that is the assignment 1. Take a notes of it. Then next one is assignment 2. Write a Apex program to find out the bill amount of customer based on the quality. Bill amount of the customer based on the quality and unit price and the offer of the discount below. That means you have a bill amount. If the bill amount is greater than 10,000, if the bill amount is greater than 10,000, if it is greater than 10,000, if it is greater than 10,000, then offer 20% discount. Then offer 20% discount. Else, do not give any discount to the customer. Do not give any discount to the customer. Take a notes of it. The So another assignment. Assignment 3. Write a Apex program to store the account contact name. That means 2 contacts, 2 accounts, 3 contacts, and 1 lead. 1 lead. So how you are going to store it? 1, it should be stored account. 2, it should be stored list of the contacts. That means list of accounts. And here it is a 3 contacts, list of contact, 3 So you need to capture this information. How do you do that? Yes, try it. Okay, this is the assignment. And few questions. What is list type of a collection? What is differences between list and set? And the next one is what is collection in Salesforce? Type of collections in Salesforce. For the different type of collection in Salesforce. Will we use list? When do developer use list set map with examples? Which type of collection has auto sort? Which type of collection has auto sort? And then I'm going to give you the trial headings. And that's all for today.